Oh, my little giblets. Sometimes in life, you will come across what appears to be a giant steaming pile of shit. But when you look closer, it's a moment of unmitigated brilliance. Okay, everybody, tucked right in there in between Steve McQueen's Blob and the Blob from 1988 with, fucking Matt Dillon's brother in it was Beware the Blob, sometimes called Son of the Blob, sometimes called whatever the hell they called it. They changed its name often and frequent. But either way, we're here to look at it today. But before we go any further, as always, once and again, to the trailer.
Oh, look out!
Ah, it's the Blob!
The Blob is back in a horrifying new adventure, and you are there as the blood-red creature rolls over and swallows everything in its path. Beware the Blob. Beware Godfrey Cambridge, Robert Walker, Gwynne Gilford, Carol Lynley, Shelley Berman, Larry Hagman and his pals. Beware the Blob, consuming human flesh on contact. Nothing can stop it. Not fire, not water, not even bullets. See Son of Blob. Widescreen color, rated PG.
Okay, everybody, this motion picture was directed by Larry Hagman, and this is the only full-length motion picture he ever directed. And after you see this, you might think to yourself, well, hey, thank Christ for that. But he did direct a lot of episodes of I Dream of Jeannie and tons of episodes of Dallas and stuff like that. But really, everybody, he's known for being an actor. I mean, he was in stuff like, The Eagle Has Landed and The Big Bus and Mother, Jugs, and Speed. But really, he was a TV guy. Come on, let's face reality. He was in The Good Life and I Dream of Jeannie. And, of course, who he will always be remembered as being was JR from Dallas and into Knots Landing, because they were kind of related. Whatever. But that's his legacy. That's who he'll always be. That's just the way it goes. It's just the way it is. Hey. Okay, playing Bobby was Robert Walker. Now, come on, man. Big TV career. I mean, he was in movies too, but mostly TV. And he was on a bunch of shit. I mean, stuff. As soon as you see his face, you recognize him. We're talking Ensign Pulver. We're talking Dr. Kildare and The Big Valley and 12 O'Clock High and Bonanza and the FBI and Cannon and Marcus Welby and Quincy and Matt Houston. And Simon, so he was in tons of shit back in the day. He'll always be, to me, most remembered for that role he did in that one beautiful episode where he was Charlie on Star Trek, the original series. Come on, man, that shit is legendary. It's one of the greats of all time. Anyway, he had a good career, around a lot, was in a bunch of shit. Let's keep moving. Okay, playing Lisa was Gwynne Gilford. Now, okay, she never had a career that set the world on fire, but she was in a lot of TV shows, folks. Let's face reality. She was in this wonderful little motion picture. She was on stuff like Medical Center and The Young Lawyers and The Rookies, and Then Came Bronson, if you guys remember that, and A New Kind of Family, and Chips, and Heart to Heart, and she was also in the movie Fade to Black, and, she happens to be the mother of that Pine guy who's running around pretending to be fucking Captain Kirk these days, which makes me sick, but it is what it is. She did what she did. Whatever. Let's keep going. Okay, playing Ed Fazio was Richard Stahl. Again, not a name you're going to know, but a face you're going to know. If you were around in the 70s, 80s watching shit, you know him immediately when you see him. He was in tons of stuff. We're talking he was in L.A. Story, and The American President, and Overboard, and Terminal Island, 9 to 5, and Under the Rainbow, High Anxiety, and Billy Jack, and 5 Easy Pieces. He was in The Student Nurses. He was on TV. I think he was on that show Making a Living, I think it was, with all the waitresses and shit. Big career. Worked a whole lot. Again, never a star, but man, he was on the scene. He was in a bunch of shit, and you'll always remember his face. Okay, playing the sheriff. Sheriff Jones was Richard Webb. Now, he had a big career. Well, I wouldn't say massive career, but he was around and he was in the game and he was in a lot of things. We were talking the Sons of Iwo Jima. We're talking the Nebraskan and the Phantom Stagecoach and the Invisible Monster. And he was on TV and Border Patrol and Captain Midnight and Cheyenne and Death Valley Days and fucking Daniel Boone. So, that's all I'm even going to say. Come on, with that list of shit, that should be enough. Okay, Plain Joe was my boy Gerrit Graham, who I just talked about a few episodes ago in Used Cars. This guy's the fucking shit. So anyway, he was in this. Obviously, he was in Used Cars, which I love. We're talking, he was also in Phantom of the Paradise and Terror Vision and Child's Play 2 and My Girl 2 and Chunt 2 and Chopping Mall and Rat Boy and Cannonball, which I'm going to be reviewing at some point. So, Gerrit Graham, man, I wish this guy was still out there cranking out shit. I mean, whatever. But to me, he's a legend, so I don't give a shit. Next. Known only as the Hippie. I'm not shitting. That was the way she was credited. Was the Hippie. Was Cindy Williams. And you gotta cover Cindy Williams. Her part wasn't the biggest in this, but who gives a flying fucking Cindy Williams? We're talking she was in American Graffiti. She was in American Graffiti 2, The Conversation, the first nudie musical. She was in on TV and shit, like a Funny Side. And Love American Style and Happy Days. Remember when her and Laverne were on Happy Days and they were like the Tramps? But then they went on to have Laverne and Shirley, where they were the stars of their own show that went on forever. And it was just phenomenal until they went to California, which just sucked balls. But when it was supposed to be in fucking Milwaukee or whatever, then it was like legendary and great. Anyway, Cindy Williams is in this. Not the biggest role she ever had, but she's in it. Fuck it. Okay, playing Leslie was Carol Lynley. Yes, you know where you remember her from, but we'll get to all that. She was in stuff like The Bad Georgia Road and Blue Denim and Bunny Lake is Missing and The Cat and the Canary and all the regular cannon fodder of the day on TV. I mean, she's on Fantasy Island and The Fall Guy and A Hotel. But you know you're going to remember her mostly for, oh yeah, that little boat that went upside down in the ocean. And I don't mean the shitty one that they did in the remake with my favorite guy of all time, Kurt Russell, but the original, The Poseidon Adventure, with Gene Hackman and that whole crew. That fucking movie was awesome. She was awesome in it. And what more can I say? Legendary shit. Okay, everybody, there's a couple other actors in this that I have to mention. They never went on to be megastars or anything like that, but I just want to mention their names because they were cool. You had Godfrey Cambridge, who was in like a bunch of blaxploitation flicks and died way too young of a heart attack, which was a shame. And you got Marlene Clark, who again was in a bunch of B movies and shit. She was in a legendary flick that I love called The Beast Must Die. And we'll get to that son of a bitch at some point or another. And of course, you can't mention this movie without mentioning the fact you got fucking Burgess Meredith in it. The Burgess Meredith, basically playing just a hobo bum homeless guy. Is what it is. There's a lot of faces that pop up, even more than what I've just given you. But we gotta get going to the story. We gotta get going to the fucking goddamn summation. Let's just get this shit over with. Okay, everybody. I'm going to try to do this in 90 seconds or less, and it should be relatively easy because the plot of this is really fucking stupid and really fucking short and really fucking sweet. So I don't know how I'm going to fucking fill up 90 seconds, but we're going to try really, really hard. Here we go. You got Chester and you got Mariane. They start off this motion picture. And Chester, he's a pipeline worker, layer, whatever the hell you want to call it. And he is out there and they're doing some bulldozing. And he comes across this chunk of a blob. And he brings it home because he wants to get it tested, so he keeps it in his refrigerator, locked up. But his girlfriend Mariane finds it and thaws it out, and it breaks loose, and it kills him, and it kills her, and it kills the cat. Man, maybe I shouldn't have told you that. Shit, I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Anyway, from there, the blob starts running around, wreaking havoc all through the town. Meanwhile, you got Lisa and you got Bobby. They're these two young kids, and they're friends of Chester and his girl, and they stop over, actually, Lisa just stops over, and she sees this guy, being devoured. She sees Chester being eaten in his chair by the blob, and she runs out, and she goes to get Bobby, but she cuts this asshole off in traffic, and that brings the cops into it, and then she goes and gets Bobby, but it's Bobby's big birthday party, and nobody's believing a fucking word. They think it's all a gag. Bobby thinks she's fucking a little bit goofy and crazy, even though he goes and he looks at everything, and he sees that there's nothing there, and the cops get involved, whatever. The blob's chasing people around, it's fucking swallowing people up. These kids are at a party, they're all being pecked off one by one. It goes nuts. It runs into a fucking bowling alley skating rink and has a final standoff with the locals, the cops, the kids, and whatever. You get it. I mean, it's a fucking blob movie. It's not that complicated. I mean, it's just running around town sucking people up and then they fight it. There's... The part I've been waiting for. Why this motion picture is great. Folks, this motion picture is pure shit in every sense of the word. Let me explain. The directing is all but fucking horrible. I mean, it looks like first-time directors just went out there and were given a camera and they were just said, make this shit happen. I swear every scene in this motion picture has to be done on the first take. I mean, there's so many times when nothing lines up. There's so many times where fucking shit... And Lisa, the character Lisa, you know, Gwynne, whatever, there is literally numerous times in this motion picture where she's supposed to be crying and she's literally is fucking laughing. Watch the motion picture. Watch when they come out of Chester's house. Watch the dune buggy scene. You're going to see that she is just literally trying to control laughter as she's filming her scenes. It is fucking hysterical. The soundtrack sounds like somebody just got the worst fucking soundtrack they could ever find, or got somebody to make the soundtrack on $1.99 on a cheap Casio fucking goddamn little keyboard, and they made the shit as it stands. It's rink-a-dink, it's kind of carnival sounding. I don't even know how to put it into words, folks. It's just weird. And as you watch this motion picture, you're going to say to yourself, what were they trying to make? Were they trying to make a horror movie? Were they trying to make a comedy? Were they trying to make something odd and irreverent and just bizarre that just kind of like made you go, what? Huh? What? Monty Python-ish? What were they trying to accomplish? And at the end of this, you might never really know or understand. But at the end of this movie, you, maybe, but I loved it. It's one of those motion pictures that I used to watch as a kid. I mean, you had this, you had Gargoyles, you had Track of the Moon Beast, you had fucking Bogey Creek, and it was one of those motion pictures that every time it came on, and it came on a lot, I was glued to the goddamn TV set. I couldn't tear myself away. I loved this movie. Why? I don't know. But it was charming, it was innocent, everything about it just screamed, you can make a movie too, and you can get out there and do this yourself. And really, you probably could. The special effects look like shit in some scenes. Some scenes are actually pretty cool and pretty good. And some scenes, they're absolutely ridiculous, and it's just like somebody got a red Glad bag and fucking blew into it, and whatever, you get the idea. But it didn't matter. It had a charm, a low-budget charm. Hey, let's go our gang comedy, make a movie type charm. Everybody's talking loud so that the goddamn shitty sound microphone that they probably had floating above could be heard. You know what I mean? I don't think they were overdubbing shit. There was parts in this motion picture where you could see that they did like pickup shots, where they filmed the scene, and all of a sudden they said, well, we got to add something to this. And then immediately after, they just did these close-ups where the person would say something, and they would cut it into the one-camera scene, because I swear, I think they did this motion picture with one camera. Maybe two. But it looks like they did it with a camera. And they just... You get where I'm going. Beware the Blob / Son of the Blob / Beware the Blob minus the exclamation point. Whatever you find it as or under. And actually, I'm going to leave a link below and leave this motion picture for you to watch so you can see it and so you can enjoy it. No matter what you do, go into this with an open mind. Go into this that you know you are watching something that is going to professionally look like shit. It's going to be weird and odd and like a student film. And by today's standards, not even a high school student film. But when you put it together and you just veg out for fucking 90 minutes and you take it all in. It is just goofy, irreverent, sometimes almost a little horror movie-ish, spooky, fun that you can just get wrapped up in, enjoy, and at times laugh at, and at times laugh along with, and at times just shake your head and say, what the fuck were they doing? Anyway, folks, go out there and watch Beware the Blob. It's a childhood favorite of mine from the 70s. Again, I've seen it a million times. I've enjoyed it probably 1,000 times. I mean, it's just one of those movies that holds a little teeny place in my heart that I'll always remember, I'll always have fond memories of, and I just hope that you can get a little bit of joy out of it too. Be good, take care, peace, love one another, take care of each other, and again, never take any bullshit from anybody. See you soon.